Well, here he played Portisch. Portisch again, one of the strongest grandmasters in that period, and probably the best Hungarian player ever. And he played more quiet. I mean, he played Caro-Kann this time, not Sicilian. And the whole variation is very unclear. He played Bishop G4, no, Bishop G4,
Yes.
and H3, and he took in H3. Theory again, everything is theory. Knight B7. Okay, he could play first D6. Well, another variation, but knight D7 is all right. D4 and knight F6. Okay, so Bishop D3. He took in D3. He took in with the queen and E6. All right, very quiet. The first moves are quiet. And after castle, Bishop E7, C3. All right. So after knight F6, the first important moment, White has to move back the queen in E2, and he is a little bit better all the time. Theory. If he plays queen E2, because he is a little bit better because he has two bishops. Pair of bishops, always a small edge for White, with two bishops. Well, queen H4 is very provocative, and starting from here, the game would be very tactical. Well, he wanted always to have initiative, and he played very complicated positions, Tal. But this time, probably he took a little bit too many risks in that game, you see. Okay, queen h4, knight d5, queen g5, queen g4, bishop f6, and he played rook e1. And after queen e6, yeah, if you
Mm.
play quiet with white, you don't have anything, you see.
So you have to risk
You have
something.
to take some risks, but how? You see, the problem is that black wants to castle, long side or normal, on the king side. Both cases, black is all right. Nothing happens with such a knight in d5. The knight,
Yeah.
controls everything. So here he plays the first move, very risky,
So,
c4. Well, after c4 is move by move. You have to give something. You have to sacrifice something. You see.
why is risky C4?
Okay, you see why is it? Because now black plays knight b4. What do
Okay.
you do here? He attacks the bishop from d3. He attacks the pawn from d4. If you are not careful, you lose material and lose the game, you see.
Yeah.
So now here white gives the rook. Okay, he's
Okay.
correct. I mean, he's correct. Well, if you look like this, it's very risky, but in the same time, it's correct. It's okay.
So he
I
actually
mean,
moved the knight away with this
no,
pawn.
he has to play. Of course, he has to
Okay.
play. Well, he could play knight e7, but he's a little bit, more passive. He didn't like.
Yes.
No, but knight b4 is all right. So here he has three moves: bishop e7, king f8, or king d8.
Yeah.
Well, after king d8, the game could be draw after king d8.
Yeah.
If white wants to make a draw, he can make a draw immediately here with queen d6 check,
Okay.
because you can't move in c8. It's made in f5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go back there, now if he wants to play, he has to put the bishop in e7. You see. Of course. Now Portisch, I told you, is very strong grandmaster. He played for win here because rook up.
Yeah.
And he played king f8. Now you have to demonstrate how to do it with white. You see, you gave the some pieces, but in the same time you have the initiative. You have to continue. So bishop f4, the only good move now, and now rook d8. Okay.
Defend the square.
Now, if you want something, you have to continue like in their game c5. Okay. So after c5, he took in d3. Okay.
Give up
He
the.
gave the queen,
Yeah.
but he has many pieces with black. Now, if he can consolidate a little bit, black is clearly better, here. So now he has to take the queen. Of course, Tal had to take the queen. And all right, we look at the position. Now, after this, it seems that black has a very strong position.
Yeah.
It's if he can consolidate 2-3 moves, black is clearly better. The only hope for white is to continue the attack or to have something tactical with the free pawn from a7. He has time later on to take the pawn with the pawn from b6 in a7. A small hope to do something.
Yeah.
So okay, here he attacks the knight. Knight comes back to d5, and he took in a7. Oh, now very important moment, probably the decisive moment, the whole game. King e7 is a little bit too provocative, you know. Now here, the good idea for black, the normal idea is to play g6 and king g7. If he played like this, probably he had a very good tactical chance to win the game. Portisch. If in 2-3 moves nothing happens very quickly, he's better, you know. But after, I mean, g6 and king g7, the right idea, you know.
Yeah.
King e7 is very dangerous because it seems he's okay. If he has time to go away with the king, he's all right, you know. But white is playing, you know. Even with a few pieces, Tal is always very dangerous tactically, you know. And we'll see why and how. The king in the center is not good because he gives too many chances, tactical chances. Okay, b4 is okay. Now he wants to take back the pawn. I mean, plays normal rook a8. But white again has a tempo, you know. So check, king d6. All right. So b5. And now again, very unclear tactically.
He
He
took the
had to
pawn.
take back the pawn. Why he has to take back the pawn? Because if he plays something else, it was very dangerous again. I mean, for instance, if he played another move, again, white has a tempo which could be decisive, you know. But even here, with rook takes there, he continue like this: check, king there, and the rook takes f6. Last surprise, and black resign.
Oh, okay.
Why? Because he loses the rook from h8.
Yeah.
Everything with tempo, you know. And queen against rook and knight is too much. Of course, white is winning. Okay, we agree that Portisch took too many chances himself. Probably he underestimated a little bit the position, and he wanted too much in such a good position for black. I mean, I tell you, if he had one tempo, it's probably enough to have a very excellent game for black. You see,
Just put the king in
the king
under.
must be safe. If the
Yeah.
king is safe, he's better. You know, 3 pieces against the queen is better for him. You know.
hmm
But here it was very dangerous until the end, and it was enough one move for Tal to have
Nice.
very good continuation to win, such a position. It seemed much better for his opponent, but in reality it was very complicated until the end.
Yeah.
And it was complicated only because Portisch took too many chances and he came with the king in the center. That was the mistake, to come in e7 instead of g7. If he puts the king in a safe position with g6, king g7, he's better. Like this was dangerous, unclear, and until the end, very dangerous position.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, Tal. Yeah,
Yes. Nice. Thank you.
but the game was not correct. In one moment, I think Tal played a little bit too risky. I tell you, if he played queen e2, always a little bit better, but more quiet.
I guess this was part of his style to
No,
sometimes to
he played
be
always like this.
always
If he
nice.
had a chance to sacrifice, he was very happy. Even if the sacrifice was not entirely correct. You see,
100% sound.
yeah.
Mm.
If it wasn't sound, it could happen like this. If black would win with g6, king g7, was no surprise at all because he played very risky. Tal.
Yeah, yeah.
But okay, what can you
This
say?
time,
I mean, it
no.
was his style. He played always like this.
Nice.
Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
yeah.